Alright, so for about the 6th time on this car, I'm going to be replacing a front wheel bearing. I've done them before on both sides multiple times. The rear ones are still good somehow, but the front ones just need to be replaced like every year. Hopefully this goes as smooth as it did the last couple times. So we're going to do the left front today. It should be the same for both sides, just a mirror image. Let's check it out and see what we can do. Oh yeah. Hear that? That ain't good. Funny enough, I actually just checked this wheel bearing the other day and it wasn't nearly as bad as it is now, so that's promising. So it means I have to definitely do it today and can't slack off. So basically to do this job you have to remove the entire spindle assembly from all the suspension. So you gotta take the brakes off, take the rotor off, disconnect the ball joints top and bottom, and then pull it off. And then you just press the bearing in and out. So you will need a press for this job or one of those wheel bearing removal tools. I have one, but I stripped the socket or the nut out of it. So I use it as just press cups with my press that I have, which you can buy at Harbor Freight for like 170 bucks. So kind of worth it if you plan on doing this stuff all the time. But let's start getting stuff unbolted and we'll go from there. Alright, so since I just replaced everything in this front end, pretty much everything should come apart really easily. So there's a cotter pin here, which I'm able to just probably remove with my hands. Maybe a piece, like a little bit of pliers. A little zoom in shot. So right here, cotter pin, and I think this is a 24 millimeter, and then you just run this off. 27. The stock size might be different. This is an aftermarket bolt, so I'm not sure what the stock size will be. That was not very tight. So up here is a 14 millimeter that goes through the ball joint. If you're doing this job, you'll see what I mean. I can't really get a good angle on it either way, so you just take that out, tap it out to the one side. You should be able to separate that. And then the tie rod bolt right here, you have to remove. And then once that's out, just tap the edge of the spindle here, and it'll fall out by itself. And that is pretty much free except for the brakes. The brake caliper bracket bolts are 17, and I think the stock tie rod bolt is also a 17, but in my case it's an 18 because it's an aftermarket Moog part. Man, the Northeast sucks. So to get these Phillips head screws out, those ones right there, if you don't have an impact driver, you should definitely get one. It makes it a lot easier. There's that. Man, I'm good. Old Earthquake's losing her touch. In my case, it slides right out because I just recently have done this, like I said, every year. In the case that yours doesn't, which this one did not the first time, it's all banged up still. Just give it a couple of taps, and if it doesn't move, put the nut back on, and then see if you can tap with the chisel in the center, like a pointed chisel or punch. Try that. If it really doesn't come out, you might just have to beat it and then file it down like I did if it mushrooms out, but usually they're pretty good. Now the 18 millimeter for the tie rod. And a few taps on the knuckle. Comes right out. Well, first I'm going to hit up on this upper control arm try and pop this out because I don't want to use a pickle fork since it's brand new. I don't want to rip the boot. And it should come out pretty easily considering I just put it in like a couple months ago. So I'm just gonna hit up on this. There's that. One thing I did also forget is this ABS sensor here. You can try and take it out of the spindle, which I'm going to try, but I'm not going to count on it actually coming out because they usually get kind of stuck. If it doesn't come out of the spindle, you can follow the wire up into the engine bay and unplug it from up there and follow it down and just take it out that way. And the plastic tab already broke, so it looks like we're unplugging it. Up to the engine bay. So where they decided to put the sensors in a pretty awful spot. So there's the exhaust manifold, and I've changed it before and the clip broke, so that's why you see that zip tie there, or that twist tie. That right there in the center is the clip for the ABS wire. So you follow that up to the AC lines, and then here's the top, and right down there. It should be around there somewhere. I know that's not the exact spot it came from the factory, but close enough. Also, the footage is gonna be grainy as hell because it's pitch black down there, but yep, that's the sensor. And the clip broke as soon as I touched it. That's good. I had to use this pick to push the clip in to pull it out. So now we'll pull it out from underneath. Okay, that's loose. So the only thing holding this on right now is the tension on the bottom ball joint. So I'm trying to push the CV axle out like that, and I should be able to hit down on the bottom of the spindle. It's kind of hard to tell, but right next to the ball joint there's like a flat spot. I'm just gonna hit that and it should come off of the ball joint, and then just be careful not to crush this wire. That was easy. Not very gentle, but it worked. So I'm gonna see if I can press this hub out, but as you can tell, the bearing is shot. You're gonna have to forgive me. It's a mess over here. I'm gonna have to employ other methods to get this hub out. I forgot, this doesn't really fit in the press that I have very well because the hub itself is so wide that there's nowhere to press against when you're trying to press the hub out the bottom. So I'm just gonna have to beat this out with a hammer. I'm not gonna film that because it's dramatic. Basically, you just put a socket or something that fits flush against this inner ring here, and then you just prop this up somehow and you just beat the hub out the center of this bearing. Alright, I can't actually believe I'm saying this, but when I beat the hub out, the bearing just completely fell apart. As you can see, there's ball bearings all over the floor. Also, if your workbench looks like this and you're watching this channel, you automatically have to like and subscribe because you know how it goes. Anyway, this actually worked in my favor for the first time ever. And getting the inner race off of this spindle has always been a pain because this ABS ring is in the way. You can't really get underneath it to get it off. But it seems like it came off because it broke. And it's up here now, so that means I could easily hit it with something or put a bearing splitter around it and push it off. So that's good. So once you get to this step, I pretty much have to wait for my tools, so I'll just catch up with you then. But I'm gonna get this off. Maybe I'll do that on video so you can at least see that. I have 1-year-old bearing stuck in my eye. So this is not necessarily recommended, but for this I usually open this up and I kind of just open it up wide enough that I can get the studs down inside like this, and then I just pinch it a little bit, like just enough to hold it there but not enough to damage the studs for the lug nuts. And then I'm just gonna take a chisel and come up at this, but it's already cracked right here, so I might be able to just hit it here and it might just break apart. Oh, yes. Easy peasy. It never is that easy. If you go to do this job, you'll understand why I'm so happy. So now I'm gonna clean this off. And once you're here, you can just apply some anti-seize or just plain grease if you want. It's just kind of to help the new bearing slide on a little bit, even though I know anti-seize is not a lubricant and it definitely should not be used as one because it's an abrasive. It will ruin bearings if you use it in the actual ball bearing part of the bearing. But for just a press fit, it just gives it something to slide on and hopefully stop it from seizing up like it did in this case. So just a thin coat of that on there should take care of you. And now I just wait till my tool gets here. All right, my tool is here, and I just reviewed the footage from that last part. I realized that I was in manual white balance at 3300K. So if the colors are a little weird, that's why. I'll try to correct them in post. Gotta make some room. That'll do. So inside here there's a snap ring you have to get out. I use a big pair of Knipex snap ring pliers. I think it's the best to have a solid one, not one of those interchangeable head ones. And yes, you are far away because I forgot to bring my good tripod out. I promise that'll never happen with the ones that you can interchange the heads. Never gonna work. So now I'm gonna put this in the press and I'm gonna try and press out this bearing with what limited pressing material I have. I'm probably gonna have to go on this inner section here because the entire rest of it fell out. So I have nothing to press on except this tiny lip, which I don't know if that's gonna work or not, but we'll find out. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot left of that. And the bearings on these don't have to go in a certain way. They are just sealed on both sides. So there's no ABS magnet for you to worry about. Cleaned up the ring, so now it's nice and clean. Well, not nice and clean, but just covered in a little bit of grease and no dirt. Make sure you put this back before you press in the hub or you're gonna have a bad day. And there it is in all its glory. Nice and quiet, smooth, ready to go. Also, make sure the I might have mentioned this already, but make sure the ABS sensor here is clear of all debris, or at least as good as you can get it. Just while you're here, it's easy to do. Now for reassembly. Alright, sorry about the lack of commentary on reassembly there, but running out of daylight and it's getting cold, so kind of had to get her done. So if you have any questions, just leave it in the comment down below. Until then, I'll see you next time. I look forward to more videos, probably on this Kia Sorento. Probably front brakes next, so something anybody can do. So thanks for watching. Subscribe and like if you want to see more videos like this. See you later.